As promised, Eddie Pappani joins me, and we talk a little Game of Thrones. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Okay, so first things first, I want to give you a heads up. This will not be my usual Game of Thrones breakdown. The Good, the Bad, and the Martin will be back tomorrow. That's when I go in deep. That's when I actually chew on the bone a little, break down almost scene by scene. So you can look forward to that tomorrow. Today, pretty simple. We just talk Game of Thrones in general with Eddie Pappani. So also, before I forget to mention this, SDW is now officially part of the show's podcast network, which means that you can find it now on the iHeartRadio app. Just type in The Show Presents, click on Super Dario World, or type in Super Dario World in the podcast section, and you'll be able to find it right there. If you don't like it there, you can find it on the Rock 105.3 website. Just click on the podcast tab. You'll see it right there. Or click on the Follow Along with the Show tab. You will see it right there as well. That's where I update the article of the day. You can also find it, if those are not good enough for you, you can also find it through my Instagram, at Dario the Show. Click on my bio. The link is right there. Any comments, questions, or suggestions you have for me, that's the easiest way to reach me. As for now, it's still going to be on SoundCloud and YouTube, so you can find it there, but I am slowly transitioning into solely being in the iHeartRadio app and on the Rock 105.3 website, but I'm still waiting on the iTunes confirmation for that. Okay, so if you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. All right, I'm very happy to be joined once again by Eddie of House Pappani.
Thank you.
The first of his name, the Oracle, the Mayor of La Mesa, protector of the galaxy far, far away, and host regent of Rock 105.3's The Show. Eddie, thank you for having you back, man.
Wow, that was a lot.
Right?
I appreciate all of that, though.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's all accurate, though.
Yeah, and you're, Dario the
Just
half-breed?
What
do we? I don't know. I feel like, you gotta call you something.
I mean, you can think of something eventually. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be on the spot.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll work on something and come up with something clever.
The screener that was promised.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if you're that.
The screener was mediocre.
Yes, there you go.
There
now
you
you're
go.
getting somewhere.
Okay, so right off the bat, Eddie, Game of Thrones, last episode, the final episode aired last night. Mm-hmm. What are your feelings on it?
I got a lot of feelings on it. It was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I have definitely not shared your feelings on Game of Thrones. I know you have many, many issues with it. Yep. For me, as a guy who never read the books, so I had, I'm going in cold and going in blind, I enjoyed every aspect of it. Last season, to me, was one of the greatest seasons of television in history.
You mean season 7 or season 8?
The last season, whatever the last season was before this one.
Okay, season 7.
Yeah. That to me was epic television. It was like watching a feature film every single week. I had no problems with it. Every week you would come in here and try to kill my spirit by telling me how much you hated it. And I'd be like, no, dude, this was the best thing I've ever seen. What are you talking about?
That's not fair. I would stay away.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I bring people down, so I just stay away.
Yes, you were awful. You were basically Daenerys coming in on your dragon, blowing me and my spirit away, which I didn't appreciate.
I'm sorry for pointing things out.
Yeah, okay. And then, I know a lot of people took issue with what happened last week, and they did not like, the way they took that character. There was a lot of issues that my only real complaint about last week's episode is I didn't think Cersei died in the epic fashion we all wanted. Mm-hmm. That's the problem, is that nothing happened the way we as fans wanted it to. Uh-huh. So we want Cersei. She's the most evil character in television history. I mean, we want an epic death for this chick, right? Mm-hmm. And she dies with her love, embracing him, and you don't even get to see how they really die until this episode, kind of. And you're like, wait, so she sort of died in a kind of cool way. You don't want that.
It depends on how you look at it, because she had a baby in her belly and it was done. Like, she had the moment that she finally had hopes for the future, that she actually wanted something other than just power. She wanted a family. She wanted love. She died. So it is tragic in its own way. I'm not saying it's good.
No, I mean, the lasting image I have is her embraced with Jamie, her brother, by the way, the love of her life and all that stuff, and they're going out together, Notebook style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want the dragon to bite her head off. I want Arya to, I don't know, slice her throat. I want Jon Snow to behead her. Something epic, to get revenge for Ned. This was garbage. This was nothing. It was so that was my only issue with last week. I didn't like the way she went out. The dragon and everything. I mean, listen, I don't know. I thought Khaleesi's character always sort of was kind of
bonkers,
crazy like that.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of bad stuff. She did it in the name of good. And so you kind of looked at it and went, oh, okay, we forgive her because, yay, she's freeing people.
She's on our team.
Yeah, but now she didn't do that really. And now we're like, wait, this is the worst character development of all time. I didn't really see it that way. I was like, listen, she's pissed.
Yeah.
So, God bless an angry woman scorned,
Hell hath no fury.
Exactly. And so she brought hell down upon all of King's Landing.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that take that big of an issue with it. This episode, I just wanted a lot. I had high expectations. I think everybody did that watches this show. And so I was like, okay, if you're going to do that, give me some crazy stuff. I want to see, everything wrapped up in a nice little bow, and I want everything to be worth it. Mm-hmm. And so when Jon kills her, I go, okay, now this will get the ball rolling for everything that I want. And it didn't happen.
Or it happened off screen.
Maybe, yeah. It was very rushed. It felt like,
yeah.
And then it didn't really make sense to me either. Mm-hmm. The part where so Jon kills her,
yes, and
so now he's in prison. Wait, hold on. He's the rightful king. Yeah. So can't he basically say "F you"? I'm the king, and you're damn right. I can kill her, and now I'm taking my rightful place on the throne. And by the way, the books back it up. Here it is. So you want to try to arrest me? I'm the king. You can't arrest me.
And also, the guy who arrests him is the guy that we just saw. We just saw him execute people on the street.
Right.
So it's not like he has
he's not a clean slate.
Yeah, he's not going to be shy about killing him.
Yes.
So
it was that was a little confusing and disappointing.
Yeah.
And so even with all that being said, well, you still want Jon to be the king, right? I mean, everybody does.
I mean, I didn't.
Okay, well, you're ridiculous.
I'm not ridiculous.
The world wanted Jon Snow to be king. It's his rightful place.
Do you know who I wanted?
Who?
I wanted to be Gendry.
I mean, that's just so stupid.
It's hysterical because Gendry actually has the best claim.
Okay.
Because as soon as Daenerys legitimizes him, well, who was the last king? A Baratheon. Who's his son? Gendry Baratheon. They won it by right of conquest. So the rightful heir, technically, is Gendry Baratheon.
Dude, you are way too deep into this. I just watched the show, man, and I like Jon Snow, and I wanted him to be king. Okay?
He's the most reasonable guy. He asks reasonable questions.
Right. And so I was like, okay, if you're not going to make him king, at least let him be king of the North. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, because they all love him there.
Yeah, I guess.
They all love him there.
Yeah.
And so, no, we're not even going to make him do that. We're going to have him ride in the sunset with the wildlings. Wait, but isn't that against the direct order from the king? The king said, no, you're going to Night's Watch, and that's where you're spending the rest of your days.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, yeah, that's cute, Bran. The broken.
Yeah.
You stay over there. I'm going to do what I want. I'm out. Peace out.
Dude, none of that made any sense.
Huh?
It's like, where's the Night's Watch? In the north. And who has the north? It's now its own kingdom.
Yeah.
So why would Bran's law have anything to do with Jon?
I don't know. Yeah, that one, I know you've taken a lot of issues with things not making sense on the show.
Yeah.
This one, I'm going to agree with you for the first time.
Thank you.
There was the finale didn't make any sense. Yeah. And it was just letdown after letdown. I was like, I want more. This is the most epic show on television, in my opinion. And this is how we're going out with Arya off on Arya's adventure.
Which she'd never mentioned before.
Yeah. And then, I'm like, okay, well, if Arya's going to go do this, I kind of thought she was rolling solo. No, she's got a whole crew with her, rolling out on her adventure. I'm like, okay. Is that the spinoff?
I have no idea. I hope not.
Arya mapping out the rest of the world
with all her friends that we've never seen her talk. We've never seen her talk to anybody else.
She hates everybody.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Are you gonna be stuck in a ship with people?
Yeah, I don't even get what that's all about. Are we going to get the side show, The Unsullied, and their adventures?
Dude, you know what's really stupid about that? Well, in the books, the island of Noth, it's filled with poisonous butterflies.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
only the locals can survive because they have immunity to
Yeah.
it. So they're gonna arrive there and they're gonna die.
Oh, well, that's too bad for them.
Yeah, right.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I
but they didn't mention that in the show, so I guess it doesn't count.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, I don't know, man. There was a few things I didn't like. Now I will say there were things that were cool. In the previous episode, I did like the Hound and the mountain battle. I thought that was a lot of fun.
The Clegane Bowl.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. There was a couple of things that obviously, I thought the war itself was pretty awesome, and the way it looked, I thought was cool.
Oh, visually, it's fantastic.
The dragon looked amazing. Burning everything down.
If you take away the episode where they fight the Night King, everything in the show looks beautiful. It's fantastic. Great effects, great costumes, good everything. Except that
Oh, you didn't
that
like
one
the
battle.
pitch black battle where you couldn't see anything?
Yeah, no, I took issue with it.
Oh, okay, me
Yeah.
too, a little bit.
Yeah.
It just definitely was not my favorite episode. Did not live up to my expectations.
To me, the thing is, and to me, the issue is the writers, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
D&D.
D&D. Okay, you could tell that these guys did not have the balls to finish off with a decision. Because if you notice, they took the cop-out. They
Yeah.
burned the Iron Throne. Like, I can't decide who I want to sit in the Iron Throne. Let's get rid of the thing.
I thought it was somewhat symbolic. They were like, well, nobody's sitting on the Iron Throne. And
Well,
but again, so the dragon knew that's the throne, and I'm just going to burn it instead of burn down John, even though you just clearly killed my owner, who I love, and
my mother, yeah.
I mean, wait. Okay, I don't know.
To me, it was a cop-out from the writers. It's like, okay, I can't decide. That's why all the posters for this season was somebody sitting on the throne. Because who's going to sit in the throne? Ha! We tricked you.
Nobody,
because the throne's going to disappear.
Yeah.
And to me,
just commission another guy to weld a bunch of swords together. I mean,
they could.
It's not that hard.
They have more than enough dead bodies
I'm
for
sure
it.
It should
Yeah.
be easy.
So to me, it seemed like a cop-out from them and they wanted to give everybody who was left alive, somewhat of a happy ending. So John, he's with Ghost, which, by the way, best moment of the show.
Yeah.
Best moment of the season. I can't tell you how many times I was yelling at the mic, just saying like, would somebody just acknowledge Ghost? Somebody look at him. Somebody pet him.
He doesn't have an ear anymore.
I know. It's
know?
if your dog it doesn't have an ear, what would you do?
That'd be pretty sad.
Exactly. You'd be hugging it.
Yeah.
You'd be trying
I'd
to
take
make
good
it feel
care of
better.
it.
Exactly.
John had a war to fight, though.
You know
He's a
what
little busy.
would be really helpful in a war? A giant direwolf.
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, I didn't even really understand the panel, that they got up there. It's all the lords of all the different houses and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Brienne and Sam and everybody, all of our favorites, Davos.
Exactly.
Like, wait, you have nothing to do with this. How do you have a vote?
Well, Davos has a lot to say, man.
Hey, listen, I love Davos. Should he be voting on who's king? I don't think so.
No.
Brienne?
That panel was to see what happens to Tyrion, who's a
Yes.
prisoner. Tyrion walks up there and is like, okay, I'm a prisoner. And they're like, you know what? Only one man can judge me, the king.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a king. Aha. Well, you know who should be king?
Yeah.
The guy I want.
Yeah.
Which
The one guy who's not going to kill me. All right, cool. Like, what?
And also, his argument's so stupid. The one with the best story. We saw Bran's story. It's the worst out of everybody there.
It was kind of bad.
Yeah.
It was the point in the show when you sort of like, all right, bathroom break, or
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, he's been dragged around by Hodor for 20 minutes.
Hodor was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But Bran,
not so much.
dude, I was talking to somebody. If you take Bran out of the show, after he leaves Winterfell, if you take him out, nothing changes.
Not really. I mean, he becomes the three-eyed raven, and I don't think anybody really understood what the three-eyed raven even is.
No, it's kind of like, cool, dude.
He sees everything, knows everything, but
Does nothing.
doesn't help anybody. Like, okay, well, that's great.
You're super useful.
Yeah. It's like you're underage and you have one friend who will buy beer for you, but they won't buy it.
Right?
What use are you? Get out of here, dude. It's terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. There was a lot of things nothing really added up. Nothing really got wrapped up. And it just, listen, did I expect it all to be a nice little package, nice little bow wrapped up? No. But I wanted things to sort of go out in an epic way, in an epic fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the final fight with the Night King and all that stuff, that was an epic fight.
Yeah.
Whether you liked it or not, for me, that was huge. The way Arya kills him and all, I mean, that was massive from start to end from what I could see of it. I mean, it was big. Like, if that was the finale, I would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they kill the dead, you know, show's over, we all survive, great. You can't do that because you still got Cersei you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that it went down, it just was so just unsatisfying to me.
And to me, a friend of mine, we were talking about this, like, what could we have done in this episode just to make it a little bit better? And just to make it a little bit better, we would have done trial by combat between Grey Worm and Jon. It's like, okay,
That
something.
would've been fun.
Yeah,
That
a
would've
little
been
bit of
fun.
action. Something.
Now, how did you think that this was going to happen at any point? I thought when Tyrion was looking for Jaime and Cersei,
Mm-hmm.
was one of them going to be alive still?
I did.
Did you think that?
Yes, I did.
I thought that too. When he was uncovering, I thought we were going to see a little movement. And I'm like, oh no.
Dude, and I was pissed off.
No, don't do this. She couldn't survive that.
Dude, they were so complete. Like, they should have been turned into jelly.
Well, yeah. Well, and like, why were there bricks underneath them? Like, if the whole thing crashed down on top of you, wouldn't you be smashed into like a little,
Yeah.
you know?
But I mean, that's you can forgive. Like, for example, on the street, there's a whole bunch of debris on the sides, but the buildings are fine. So where did the debris come from?
I don't know.
It's set dressing.
You look way too.
I know
much
it's
into that
an
stuff.
issue. Like,
It
dude,
really is.
in the last episode, and I don't mean the latest one, the episode
Previous,
5.
yeah.
Did you notice that they used the same horse twice?
The one that Arya got on.
Yeah,
Which one did they use it before that?
he used with the commander of the Golden Company. That was his horse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're saving some bucks here and there.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
you got to destroy a city. That costs a lot of money.
I know, but the thing that
know?
pisses me off is it cost $120 million an episode.
Yeah.
You couldn't get another horse.
Nah.
Or at least
One horse per episode,
Or
bro.
you know what? Can you put a little bit of makeup? Because the problem is that it has a nostril with a star on it. So it was super distinct. It was
really?
a very recognizable horse, and it was the only
wait.
horse that died CGI.
Most people noticed the Starbucks cup. You noticed the same horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
how.
great,
I like
Dario.
horses.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it's hard to wrap up such a big series, and I understand that. And that's a big task. But when the original writer didn't finish it out, and these guys, decided, what, we got it. Don't worry. That's tough, man. That's a tough call
No.
because it's not the right vision.
No, and to me, the thing is, you could tell the D&D were way too in their heads. The show got way out of their hands. It
Yeah.
got bigger than anybody ever thought it could be. It's the biggest show of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, okay, what can we do that's going to it's the biggest show of all time. We got to do something that nobody expects. We have to do something that surprises people. They should just made a decision, be like, we're going this way, and don't try to please everybody.
Yeah,
Don't
like
try
it
to
or don't like it.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
pick a side. And they never picked it.
Yeah.
And they just jumped logic, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, I sort of have to agree with you on that one.
Yep.
So in the end, I guess you were right.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I know it was hard to say.
It makes me want to vomit.
I know, but so I appreciate you saying I'm not gonna push it. So let's move on to something a little bit more fun about the show. Who was your favorite character overall?
Ooh, that's a tough call.
If you want to think about it, I can tell you mine.
Okay, who?
Okay, season 1, they all died. Ned Stark, Khal
Love Ned.
Drogo, and Robert Baratheon.
Yeah.
The best to me, those are the 3 best characters of the show, and they died season 1.
Yeah. Ned was great. Ned was awesome. I loved Ned.
Boromir.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
Tormund may be my favorite character. That
the
guy
last
is just
season?
a crack up, man. I love that dude. So yeah, that guy might be my favorite character.
Yeah, no, he was a lot of fun to watch. Last season, my favorite 2 characters were Tormund and Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah.
I just love that guy.
He had a great story, coming back from everything that he went through.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he had a good story.
And to me, the thing with Euron at the end, because there was a lot of really bad deaths on the show. That one pissed me off because he was like, I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister. We're like, dude, you killed a dragon the last episode.
Yeah.
You should be happy with that. You're a very impressive guy.
That's true. That's true. Now, I know in the books, isn't he like crazy over the top?
Yeah,
Do you think that it was a right portrayal of him?
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all?
Here in
Okay.
this show, they just kind of made him do things for Cersei. In the books, he has a plan. He might be the most evil character on the show.
Really?
Like this guy raped and tortured his brothers, and that's barely in his highlight reel.
Oh, okay.
So he's truly, truly sinister.
My God.
And the battle that he's about to come, because the books end. And it's leading up to 4 battles. The big theory on his battle is that he might actually unleash a Kraken. So there's a lot of hype behind Euron. He has a Valyrian steel armor, so there's a lot of hype behind him.
We also didn't see him die.
Oh, true. I mean, he had a sword impaling him.
Sure.
But
Sure.
Arya survived something like that.
I mean, Jamie was all right. He had a couple of stab wounds.
That is
You know,
true.
he kept walking.
Exactly.
You know?
You rub some dirt on it.
I guess.
Shake it off.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It just depends where you get stabbed.
Okay, so true.
Yeah.
All right, so what was your favorite death, and what was your least favorite death?
Least is Cersei, by far. I mean, that just bothered me to no end. How she didn't get her epic comeuppance.
Okay.
Like, that really, really bothered me. My favorite death? I'm going to have to think about that for a second. You have one?
Favorite death?
Yeah.
I was happy that Daenerys died. Like,
you were?
Yeah, I hated Daenerys. I've been
God.
complaining about it. I've been calling her crazy for years. That's when everybody says that it came out of nowhere. No, I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
She's been dead. Oh, but this season, the only death that I feel was actually that it wrapped up somebody's story in a neat way was Melisandre's. Because her whole thing was about, we got to beat, the Night King. Because I got to find the princess was promised and all that. Soros. So as soon as the Night King's dead, she dies. I was like, okay, this one makes sense. Everybody else was kind of out of left field.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty awesome when the big giant got it in the eye from the little girl. That was kind of kick ass.
I have a lot of issues with that little girl.
Why?
Well, for starters,
She's great.
I hated her.
Why?
Okay, would you take orders from a 6-year-old?
Of course not. But I mean, that's what kind of made it awesome.
I don't know. To me, I just kept thinking, like, you're a lord of the north, and this girl that has 10 soldiers by this point is giving you orders.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about her?
That's why she was badass.
You know what's really funny? She had an axe when she attacks the giant, and she stabs him with a sword. So they switched out the weapon in that shot.
I'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
Because I thought didn't she pick it up?
It was an axe.
Oh, it was an axe?
Yeah, and she stabbed him with a sword.
Huh.
It was one of those
Thanks
little
for
mistakes.
ruining that for me too, Dario. I just said that was my favorite.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I hated her.
Jeez.
I hated Lyanna Mormont so much. It was one of those things that, well, again, I was cheering when she was dead. I was like, yes, no more Lyanna Mormont.
You are so mean.
I know. It's been a rough few years for me, man. Like,
Yes.
because this.
Why did you keep watching?
Because it's.
You like to torture yourself?
I guess no, because I love the story so much, and it became kind of fun to just criticize it because a lot of these things made no sense. And there was a point where it was like, okay, what ridiculous thing could they come up with now? Can they even surprise me at this point? And they did. So it's very impressive on that side. But I don't know, it's rough, and also because I've been waiting for years for the next book, so something that keeps you going, like a little something, a little morsel is always very good.
Yeah.
But okay, so. Thoughts on everybody's ending? What do you think?
I didn't like it. I just
Nobody's?
I never felt satisfied. You know, I just didn't. The main thing with John, that's not how I wanted John to go out. It was like, oh, is that where he's supposed to be? Nah, not really.
No.
I mean, he had a nice little fling with the wildlings.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, that's just where he belongs.
I thought that it was very funny that it was very meta that the one guy who asks, does the Night Watch even exist anymore?
Yeah.
Was John. Is like, is it really a thing?
Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to?
Did the wall get destroyed?
A big chunk of it,
Like,
yeah.
how are they going to fix that? I mean, I don't know how they're going to fix that. That's going to take a long time.
Exactly.
I don't want to work on that place.
And also, it's like, isn't the wall supposed to protect you from the wildlings that guy let through?
Well, now we're all buddies. So what are we protecting them from? The dead is dead.
Yeah.
The wildlings are friends.
Yeah.
So what's the wall even for? So
it's pretty. It's to look pretty.
What's the Night Watch for? I don't know. See,
a lot of things did not make sense.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. It was sort of annoying that last little council meeting with Tyrion. And all of the crew. I was like, what? I'm not even sure what we're doing here.
Like, dude, you know what's crazy? Bronn and Davos can't read.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, Davos barely reads. Sam, if maesters are supposed to be celibate, the dude's having a kid and he has a wife, so none of that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And would you trust Bronn with your money?
No, and boy, did that guy come up, huh?
Yeah, right.
He's the hero of the entire series, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
From where he started to where he ended up.
Sellsword.
That guy that made the best out of everybody.
Dude, Bronn's, a great guy. He should have been in the council with Tyrion in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have been like, vote for me or I'll kill you.
Yeah, right? I mean, and Pippa Bobby would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that guy's crazy, man.
Yeah, so I had a P1 ask me this question for you. If you had to choose between fighting a dragon or fighting a killer whale, which one would you choose and why?
I mean, that's not even funny. I mean, give me a break. Well, the thing about it is I'd want to kill the killer whale. I don't want to kill a dragon. I love dragons.
Okay.
They're cool. I try to befriend it.
But you want to tame it.
Yeah, I want to ride it. So I'm not trying to kill the dragon. I will fight the orca all day. I'll fly my dragon over there and burn him to a crisp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you eat it afterwards?
No, I spit on it. I'm not ingesting that disgusting evil.
Okay, all right.
So, and that's a stupid question, by the way.
I had to ask
Really
it.
irritating.
I had to ask it.
Come on.
So, out of everybody, of all the endings, if you know what's weird, because I felt that it was the beginning of something else.
Well, yeah, you sort of feel like, okay, well, if they are doing these spin-off shows like we're hearing, really, you can go to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's story really ended.
Yeah.
We could keep following this new king and his new way of doing things. We could follow Jon and his new life. We could follow Arya. We could follow, Sansa. We could follow anybody.
Yeah.
And there's still story.
Which, by the way, Bran, I'm going to go find the dragon. You couldn't have done that before.
Yeah, right?
It would have been super useful for you to take over the dragon at multiple points in this story.
That is true.
And it's just...
Again, yeah.
Bran is weird.
Yeah.
But okay.
He's broken.
No. But he's the king. He earned it.
Yeah,
he
totally.
earned it by not getting in the way.
Yeah. By not telling anybody useful information. That's cool.
All right. Okay. Well, any closing thoughts on Game of Thrones? How would you like, if anybody asks, what would you say about Game of Thrones overall? How would you describe
one
it?
of the best TV shows in television history. I loved all of it except for, bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And the finale did not leave me with the feeling that I expected. But overall, will it take away from my love of the series? No. It's one of the most epic television shows I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got nothing but love for it still. It gave me hours of enjoyment.
Okay. To me, I would describe it as the greatest build-up of all time. Because I'll give him that. The build-up was fantastic. But it led to just disappointment.
Sort of petered out.
Mm-hmm. But,
Without
again, it's a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the ending is... Because beginnings and endings are super hard.
No doubt.
They nailed the beginning. The ending... left to be desired.
Well, people are talking about the whole last 6 episodes need to be redone. I didn't feel that way. I thought the battle against the dead was awesome. I mean, they needed to, get a better cinematographer, but I thought that was epic, and I thought everything about that was really enjoyable. The last 2 episodes, I get it. That's not the way us as fans wanted it to go out. And so because we didn't get what we wanted, we're going to cry and complain about it. So that's what's going on.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter if you don't get what you want, as long as it makes sense. And I don't think it made sense to anybody.
No, because it didn't.
And the way I described this show, I did it on my last podcast. It's sometimes what they want to do is they want to subvert expectations. That's what the writers wanted to do, subvert expectations.
Sure.
And
it's called a swerve job.
Exactly. But sometimes you need to swerve it into something that makes sense.
Sure.
Like 4th and 10. Everybody expects to pass, and you go for a run.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. These dudes, what they tried to do was the
flea
fake
flicker.
the fake punt that the Colts tried on the Patriots.
Yes.
Yeah.
The worst play in NFL history. That's pretty up there. I get trying to swerve the audience and make you go, oh, but you're right. It's got to make sense if you're going to do it.
Exactly. Well, Eddie, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
Your face, it's like, how much did it hurt, honestly?
I just wanted more. That's it. You go expecting the greatest meal of all time, and you get served, a frozen dinosaur nugget.
Oh.
Man, I don't know. Like, that wasn't the greatest meal.
Well, I mean, when the books come out, I can tell you how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, that'd be better than having to read something.
Okay,
I'm fine with
I'll just do that. I'll just retell you the story.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Thanks for joining me again, man.
No worries.